our Across the Aisle segment tonight. With the school year starting again, it might be a good time for DNC Chair Tom Perez to take an Introduction to the Constitution class. Perez, the head of the Democratic Party, recently said in a speech to a law school, ironically, that the Electoral College was not in the Constitution, even though it clearly is. Now, this is obviously an effort by Perez to delegitimize President Trump, since Hillary Clinton did win the popular vote. But should Democrats be in the market for a new chairman if Perez can't even get basic constitutional facts straight? With me now, professor and author of Obama's America, a transformative vision of our national identity, Ian Reifowitz. Ian, good to see you.
Good to be back, Liz.
All right, Ian, let me ask you. I mean, the funniest part of this story to me was that he gave this speech in front of a law school. These people are studying literally the laws of our country, the highest of which is the Constitution of our country. And he claimed that the Electoral College was not inherent to the Constitution. His quote was, "The Electoral College is not a creation of the Constitution. It doesn't have to be there." Ian, it is there. It's in Article 2.
Well, you asked a great question. You know, should Democrats be looking for a new leader of their party if the head of their party, the leader of their party, doesn't get some of these basic facts straight? You know, Donald Trump went into a presidential debate and was unable to discuss even the basic facts of the nuclear triad. So I wonder if Republicans are going to start looking for a new leader to their party. This is the guy who controls the nuclear codes in our country, and he couldn't even discuss the three elements of the nuclear triad. You know, he also didn't know who the president of the Virgin Islands was. He thought that
I know that one did make me laugh. The Virgin Islands thing did make me laugh. Okay, well, Ian, tell me, is this a way of pivoting away? Is this a way of pivoting away from saying, yes, Tom Perez made a mistake. He doesn't understand how our country is set up. He doesn't understand the importance of the Electoral College. But at the same time, you have to give your party loyalty. You don't want to criticize the leader. Because far be it from me to give Democrats advice on how to win. I don't want Democrats to win. So if they want to self-destruct, that's fine with me. But it does seem crazy that the DNC chair denies something about the Constitution, the Electoral College, simply because he's still bitter that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote and lost the Electoral College.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll trade. You and I can make a trade. I'll have Tom Perez resign and you'll have Donald Trump resign, and then we won't have anybody in charge of the party who doesn't know the facts. Look, we're talking about something here that's a political argument, all right? The president has made mistakes enough to fill up this entire show. Tom Perez is trying to make a political argument about the Electoral College. I read some of the fuller remarks, such that they were available, and he was talking about the fact that the states have the ability, through passing a law, essentially a multi-state compact, to override the traditional way that the Electoral College works and just give the popular vote winner the Electoral College votes from the national popular vote winner, give them the Electoral College vote win from each state. So that's what he's talking about here. The Electoral College doesn't work as it was designed. The Electoral College was designed to deny the American citizens the right to directly elect the president.
And that's where Democrats are wrong, though. That's where Democrats are wrong, though. I mean, to me, and I will give you one thing. Going back to your criticism of Trump, not to get off the topic here, but Donald Trump actually criticized the Electoral College on Twitter a couple years ago. I didn't think he was correct on that. It seems that he's learned why we have the Electoral College and how it works since then, and I appreciate that. But it's not a partisan thing here. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. The Electoral College is critical to our republic. The reason that the founding fathers, the framers of our Constitution, created this system was so that the electorate, the people of our country, could have a say, but that it wouldn't devolve into mob rule. Originally, the framers of the Constitution wanted the president to be elected by Congress, like the Speaker of the House, but they also feared the corruption and the collusion that happens in Congress, which it turns out was a very well-founded fear. So they wanted to compromise and balance giving the people a vote and not submitting to the tyranny of the majority, while also allowing Congress, who knows the nitty-gritty, to have a vote without, I guess, acquiescing to their corruption and collusion. It has worked. For over 200 years, it's worked.
Well, but it doesn't work, as I know you know, it doesn't work the way it was designed to work. It was designed that people in each area would pick somebody that they thought they could trust, and then all of those trusted people would get together, you know, a few hundred miles away a few months later, and that they would decide who the president would be. People did not run for president. People did not vote for president. The electors were not selected by popular vote in each state for the first few decades after the presidential elections began. It was designed
and that part is not in the Constitution. Right. That's the part that's not in the Constitution. Well, let me ask you this. There's two questions, two practical questions here. How long in history, and looking back at history is a very important part of ensuring that our republic survives all these different things that we're facing, but how long have pure democracies, where it's simply the popular vote, the voice of the people, unadulterated in their votes, chooses the president, how long have pure democracies lasted historically?
Depends on how you want to look at it. I'm more interested in what's going on in the United States, but certainly the European democracies since World War II have a different form of democracy. I don't know that the parliamentary system is a better one, but at the end of the day, if you're going to have two people running for president, doesn't it make sense that the person who comes in second doesn't win? That shouldn't be a partisan issue. We have an electoral college system right now that basically, if it's close, flips a coin.
No, you're missing the point. And Hillary Clinton actually proved this point in this election by not campaigning in Wisconsin at all. If we just operated by the popular vote in our country, because our country is so vast, because the population is concentrated in these large cities, there's no reason the candidates would ever represent the views of the minorities. They'd never visit states that didn't have high concentration of population, because they would just need a large number of the coastal votes. So the vast majority geographically of our country would never be represented if it weren't for the Electoral College. It was set up as a way to protect minorities. And